Happy Strawberry Rhubarb Pie Day. I am ambivalent about this holiday in the sense that on June 9th, at least where I live, we don't actually have strawberries, fresh local strawberries yet. I believe this holiday was made up by someone in New Jersey or parts south of here. But some of you may be able to get strawberries because it's a crazy season. In any case, what I did was I used grocery store strawberries, which you don't want to do once the real ones come in. So I did, this is step one. Oh, sorry about that. So, because it takes a while. So the first thing you do is you combine sugar and cornstarch in a stainless steel or enamel pot. Not, in other words, not aluminum. And then you stir in rhubarb and strawberries. Now I put in, and you'll have the proportions, I put in 3 cups of rhubarb and 2 cups of strawberries. I like it to be a little more on the rhubarb side so it stays nice and tart. And you also add some lemon juice. And you let those sit for a little while so that the rhubarb and strawberries juice up, covered of course. And then you finally cook them. You bring them to a boil, stirring, and you cook them for 1 minute. And when they're done, you put them in a 1.5 quart casserole dish that you have buttered. And then you just put a little bit, speaking of butter, well, it's supposed to be better than that. A little bit of butter, just dot butter on the top. Okay, so what we're actually making, because I'm doing something different, is we're making a strawberry rhubarb cobbler. It's very similar to a pie, but it's a lot easier and it cooks for less time, which is nice. So our next step is to make the cobbler topping. We have flour, a little bit of sugar. It's not super sweet, but we've got sugar in the fruit. Little baking powder and salt. We mix those all up together. Lovely. Then we cut in half a stick of butter. I actually use unsalted butter since I already put some salt into the topping. There we go. So you're going to cut them in. If you have a pastry blender, you can use a pastry blender. If you don't have a pastry blender, you can use knives. You can always use your hands. Your hands aren't the best because you want the butter to stay fairly cool to make little pops. So I have pretty much mixed that up so they're just little pieces. The next step is to make the liquid part of the cobbler. I think I was going to tell you that the pioneers didn't have ovens and they didn't have the time to stop and make an oven in their little wagons or whatever. So a cobbler was something, we're actually making in a baking pan, but you could make it in a Dutch oven and put it on a campfire. So that's how the cobbler presumably started. Little milk, little egg, little vanilla. You could put in some other flavor, ginger or cinnamon or whatever, but I think it's pretty good the way it is. Okay, I'm making a little well. While I'm doing this, I should tell you that I have a concert coming up on Friday, the 10th. It's a fundraiser for Mohawk Trail Concerts. Friday the 10th would have been Judy Garland's 100th birthday, and I and pianist Jerry Noble, are doing an all Judy Garland program. It's going to be a lot of fun. Fun songs, sad songs, whatever. So we just want to mix this till the liquid ingredients moisten the dry ingredients. There's a little more dry to go here. Okay, almost, but not quite. Okay, so this is very similar to a biscuit topping, and that's what the topping of a cobbler is. Some people think it's called a cobbler because it resembles cobblestones on a street. Some people think it's called a cobbler because it's cobbled together. I like the cobblestone version. So you don't have to completely cover it. There doesn't have to be any particular pattern. This is one of those foods that is supposed to be rustic, which I love. So it doesn't have to look perfect. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees. So I'm just going to pop a little brown sugar on the top of this and pop it in the oven, and I'll see you when it comes out. So it's cooked. I don't know if you can see the little bubbling bits of the strawberry and rhubarb, which really looks like a fake color, but it's absolutely not a fake color. And the nice little brown bits of cobbler topping. When I serve this, I serve it with whipped cream or ice cream or frozen yogurt. Just a little dairy is nice, but actually I like it plain too. And if you don't happen to finish it when you serve it to your guest in the evening, you could always have it the next day for breakfast. So happy strawberry rhubarb.